Hey folks, so in this video, I'm going to look at the RX 7600, in particular this Power Color Fighter that I bought off of Amazon, and you can see what I paid for it, $269.99. So a lot of other GPUs out there, and there's a couple others to consider in that price range. In this video, we're going to look at how this card does in 4K versus the RX 6650. I'll probably do a 1440 version and a 1080p version as well. Of course, these cards, are mainly meant for 1080p, but for those, that might be considering this card for 4K, just kind of give you an idea of what you should expect and how it, like I said, compares to the 6650. Now, if we were to check out some of the other competition, so you got the RX 6650, 260, so ever so slightly cheaper, 244, significantly cheaper there, considering it's the same model, right? That's $25 price difference. I say significant because that's, what, about 10%, right? 10% for pretty much the same performance. And there may be renewed models even cheaper than that as well that are available. Of course, the 7600 is much better than the 6600, so we won't even talk about that. $249 for that one, so that's so it looks like that's probably the best price. Now, the other thing to consider, to be honest with you, would be the RX 6700. And you see here's one for $279 that's available. Quite possibly that would be my first choice if deciding between these. And you can see 10 gigs of video RAM. Possibly it makes a difference. Might make more of a difference if you're doing 4K. All right, so there weren't a whole lot of choices. And then for even more money, the XT, which is at least, I believe, 5% greater than the 6700. So there's what you're looking at for prices. Now, I played a whole bunch of games, folks, just to have something to compare to. And these were all 4K. Now, don't have a lot of expectation that you're going to run 4K with high quality, right? Let's just talk about FortNIte. So I used performance low, which is a little more CPU based, obviously. But in a second, we'll check out the FPSs. Switching over to DX12, doing 4K Epic. Unfortunately, it's not that playable. It's playable, but when you're getting between 24 and 36 FPS, it's that's really not so great. Now, of course, I was using screen recorder. Tack on a few more FPS is what you would have in reality. I was having difficulty zeroing in on my targets and shooting them. Where when I'm playing with a better graphics card at that same setting, I don't have any issues, and it's ideal. Honestly, to play 4K versus 1080p if you have the hardware. All right, so let's first look at this. So first we'll pull up the 6650 XT. Now this one, able to see the how much GPU power is used, and basically it looks like it's up to 150 watts. The 7600 MSI Afterburner hasn't been updated, but power usage is probably pretty close. Now, if we bump ahead in this video, let's just get pretty much to the end. And it looks like yours truly finished in the top 2 in this video, top 3. Can't get it to play now for some reason, but there's the FPS, 243. All right. So 243 for the 6650. And if we jump over to the 7600, now these are, two separate, completely separate games. Did not finish in the top 3 in this game. Sad ending there. But 286, okay? So this looks, honestly like, wow, this is a significantly better card. Or is it? Now with FortNIte, you can use replay mode and really compare 2 graphics cards as long as you do it pretty much in the same day. There are little finicky things about it. It's not always that accurate. There is some error with it, but that may have been a better way to do this. So let's look at some examples that actually have built-in benchmarks. So World War Z, we had the settings at 4K high, and I'll show you the 6650 XT first. Once again, power usage almost up to 150 watts. And this has its built-in benchmark, so we'll go with what those numbers are there, 69 FPS. All right. And unfortunately, like I said, we cannot get the power. So this average isn't going to match what they show here. So if we jump over to the 6700 and jump ahead to the end, 68, folks. So in this case, you get the 6650 was better. All right. In that case, if you're playing that game, you're going to go with the cheaper, probably go with the cheaper software, or what am I talking about? You're going to go with the cheaper graphics card. All right, so 4K high, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Let's see, which one's which? This one. So this was DirectX 12. And if we pause this, we get an average of 48. All right. So, I could make a little chart and have done this, and maybe that would have looked nicer, but at least in this case, folks, you can see I actually made these videos. Some channels on here, you just never know. Look at that. The exact same score, right? Now, unfortunately, you can see the CPU, the badass i9-13900kf, but it does not show you the GPU. I'm curious, since I did that, does this one actually shows you 6650 XT, so, whether it's the drivers or what. All right, so we're 48 and 48 there. That's a tie, right? So basically, it's like the same card. Now, Call of Duty, Black Ops. This was played 4K low. This is another game where if it tried to play 4K high, it would be unplayable. So once again, power usage up to 100, basically 150. And I played 7 rounds. And and somewhere in here I just basically quit. So I got to go back. 67, all right? Now there should be some fluctuation between this and the other one, but they're still going to be rather similar. So we're done with the same settings. Now here, folks, you can see that at least in this case, the 7600 was superior, all right? So what does this all tell you? Well, for most of the games that I've seen at 4K, these are going to be an even matchup. But for Call of Duty, it would appear the 7600 could possibly be the better card. For FortNIte, the 7600 could possibly be the better card. We only showed you 4 games. There's lots of other games out there to have done this with, but you know, I'd almost like to say it's a toss-up, but looking at the fact that in at least 2 games, the 7600 was superior, I kind of feel like, you know, hey, maybe it is a better card, at least at 4K, all right? So if you're going to play at 1440p or at 1080, we'll check those videos out when they're up. All right, thanks for checking out this video, folks. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.